My husband Thomas is about to change wheel bearings on his 2002 Jeep Liberty and thought we should make a video about it in case any of you should find it helpful.
Yes, we're about to change the wheel bearings here, and as you can see I've jacked it up on the jack here, and normally you should always use jack stands when you work on the car on the floor, but as you can see the jack stands, and I only have those two, are occupied by the Ranger because I'm currently waiting on parts for that one. So in the meanwhile, waiting for parts, I will do the wheel bearings on this one. Du skal ud igen, Simba. Ud! This is actually the reason why the wheel bearings have gone bad, is the spacers. They are not optimal for the life length of the wheel bearings. They put a lot of strain on the bearing, and yeah, not a good idea. So if you can avoid them, don't use spacers. Your wheel bearings will live a lot longer. The optimal solution is a rim with the right ET. And unfortunately, I haven't found any with the ET10 that I need, so it is the spacers for now. So I just have to change the wheel bearings every couple of years. But so, take apart the brakes. With all the mud included from the previous off-road driving. Also, always a good idea to take apart and clean your brakes when you've been off-roading. Because mud. Again, all the ventilation slots in the disc is completely filled with dirt, mud, so it's time to give it a good clean also. Can put the brake caliper up here to avoid too much damage to the brake lines. Like that. So here's our bad bearing, really worn out, only about 2 years old, but yeah, you know, spacers. Removing the ABS sensor, wheel sensor. It's a little 8mm on the back side here. So. Gooey. Could use a little clean also. The ABS wheel sensor. Put it in here so it doesn't get damaged. Yeah. So now it's time to take apart the ball joints and the tie rod end. The upper ball joint has a little cutter pin in here. You have to remove. So, like that. Remove the nut on the drive shaft here. The nice thing about an off-road car is that it doesn't rust together because you have to take it apart so often. So it's a little bit easier. If you have an old car and haven't done this for a while, it might be a little harder to get all these things off. Should be quite loose actually. Not really. It's all taken apart like that. And here's the entire hub. And as you can both hear and see, really bad. Worn out, but quite easy fix actually. And this one, get all the mud out of here. And the wheel bearing itself, or the entire hub assembly actually, is just mounted with these three little, I think it's M10 bolts with Allen heads. Just give them a little clean. So, like that. And then we have an 10mm Allen head here. Now it's important when you got the old wheel bearing assembly out that we give it a good clean here, so we will have a nice clean mounting surface for the new bearing. So, something like that. And then, as I know, I probably will have to change this one again in a couple of years. I will give it a thin little coat of anti-seize. So, like that, ready for the new one. This is a new bearing wheel hub assembly, and as you can see, this one comes with the new ABS wheel sensor and everything, but that's the old one is perfectly fine. I will remove the new one here because then we can save it for later if the old one breaks one day. So it's just a little M6 Allen bolt, and here is the complete sensor. And there's a little washer here. You can use that new washer. Save that. So I will put this on the shelf for later. Then it's just mounting the wheel bearing in the hub here. And it's important that the hole for the ABS sensor, be sure that it's, because there is 3 bolt holes and you can put it in any way you want, but the holes for the ABS wheel sensor must be pointing towards the mounting point for the tie rod end. So put it in like this. So your ABS sensor will come here and mount in that hole. So it's just align it with the 3 holes for the bolts. Put some anti-seize on the bolts and the threads, like that. And always start the threads with your fingers so you don't cross thread anything. Let's just tighten them a little bit. And then we will have to take it to the workbench so we can torque the bolts to spec. So let's see, to torque those to specs, then we will have to, I can recommend the Haynes, nice repair manual, clutch and drive line, torque specification, front hub and bearing assembly to steering knuckle bolts, 130 newtons, 130 newton meters. Put it on 130 newton meters. give it a little bit of anti-seize too. Like that. I think that, yeah, it's broken. There is like a locking ring or something on the inside of the rubber boot, but it's leaking. That's dead. That gives us one more thing to do. Fortunately, there was a spare one on the shelf. I think the easiest way to do that is to just temporarily mount this one again and see if we can get this one to come off. Just like that. An important thing when you're changing a tire dent is to measure the distance here, so you know exactly where to put the new one, and it's 61 millimeters. 61 millimeters. And for you who use inches and all that stuff, it's like 34 yards or something, I think. I don't know. As you can see, this one has recently been taken apart because it's a nice coat of anti-seize here, so it makes it really easy to take the old stuff off, put the new stuff in. Let's see if it's the same distance. It is. It is. Perfect. Then we put it. New stuff like that. Put it there to hold it in place. And then we take our measurement again. And what we have here is 63 something. That was a little too far. Then we reverse it one rotation. Like that. See what we have. 61. Perfect. Then we will tighten this one up again. So, easy peasy. Yeah, okay, then we can continue with our wheel bearing. We have to torque these ones to spec as well, and the ball joints are 81 Newton meters. Also 81 Newton meters. Like that. And the tie rod end is 108 Newton meters. 108 Newton meters. Now it's just putting the brakes back together, and that's it. So Now we are ready to put the brakes back together, and I just gave this rotor a little clean. All that dirt that was in the ventilation slots, I've just blew it all out with the compressed air, and just give it a little clean in here. And again, just a little bit of anti-seize. Before we mount the brakes back together, we have to mount the ABS wheel sensor. We talked about giving that a little bit of a clean, didn't we? The brake cleaner. And then we put that back together with the little washer that came with the hub assembly, like that. A little anti-seize on this one. And then we have the little bracket here with the little washer on the backside, the little nut on the backside. A little anti-seize as well. Like that. ABS sensor mounted. And then we can do the brakes. I put a little anti-seize in here just to prevent it from sticking to the hub like that. And then we can put a little bit of anti-seize on these ones as they are brand new from the wheel assembly. And back goes the bearing killers. Just check the power wrench on the lowest setting. And then we torque them to 110 Newton meters. Have to be a little bit careful with the threads, but it's really the best way to do it, I think. And these are nice and greasy with anti-seize since the previous time. Then we have to torque these ones to spec, and that is 136 Newton meters. And these small bolts are only supposed to be tightened 15 Newton. So it's just like that. So. And then the only thing we have left is the center nut on the drive shaft. Then we just have to mount the wheels, put the car down on the ground and torque these nuts on the drive shafts. As with the spacers, the wheel lock nuts is also 110 Newton. So that was it for the wheels. Then I'll just apply the parking brake and torque the axle nuts to the 136 Newton meters. That was the wheel bearing on the Liberty. That's how I do it.
Well, that was some different kind of content than I'm usually making. Let me know down below if this is something you like and want more of. And as always, thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one.